What is up? I have not made a video in a minute, but I have a trade I want to go over from today. Um, Low key clean as fuck. It was a mech lawn. Blake ended up taking this. I did not take it because I don't have the 30-second time frame. I take 30 seconds on my back test, which, by the way, if we can look at that, this is how that's been going. Um, Hold on. Let this baby load. We've been cooking. We've been cooking. Holy shit. So, and then if we can exit this, we can go over here. Been cooking on that. But it's 2022 price action, so it's quite easy. And honestly, this month is, I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good. We can see this big move up, so I'm going to go over Blake's recap because Blake ended up taking the trade. But coming into the day, I was originally bearish. We had 1 hour relative equal lows that I wanted to see get tapped. We'll go look at that on NQ. It was a low right here, here. I believe it was on the 1 hour. Yeah, because we are accumulated, right? So we are accumulation. I wanted to see manipulation, and we do manipulate, and then we distribute higher to go sweep out here, and now we're trending lower. So I'm gonna just go into Blake's YouTube video on this. Here we go.
And imbalances, and then liquidity. Price action. The two trades that I'm taking today, I made $20,191 on the day. Total P&L was $21,991, but that included 3 Alpha Futures evals that they sent me over, so I'm not going to add in that. But yeah, the Alpha Futures did send me over 3 150K standard evaluation accounts that I'm going to try and pass, and I try to 3x ratio them. And like what I do with like evals that have consistency rules like this, and this is the thing, I don't trade with that many evals that have consistency rules, but they send me over these accounts, so I'm like, all right, I'll copy trade these accounts with my live accounts, and I'll just like 3x the ratio, and you can do that with TradeSyncer. My dumbass, unfortunately, just did the ratio wrong. I was supposed to do it on MNQ, and I did it on MQ. Bunch of jibber jabber I'm talking about right now, but let's get into the actual P&L. $21,000, but again, 3 of these accounts are evals, so I did only make a total of $20,191. Man, if I didn't have consistency rule, bro, the fucking trade that would have hit off this literal bottom tick, bro, 1 to 6 RR. So that's like the one thing that I'm going to try to be doing with these. I believe it's the standard accounts that they gave me, but it's like the best accounts that Alpha Futures has, and they don't have any consistency rule, which is so freaking fire. I'm really excited to start like try trading like trading high RR with these Alpha Futures accounts, see how I do with them, and maybe adapt my trading style to that, or because I can get like a pretty fat payout with that. But for now, I'm sticking with my consistency rules and grabbing my little 1 to 2 RR, which is all I need, a little piece of the pie. But let's get into this, because we all obviously see multiple executions on my screen here. So let's get into the 2 trades that I'm taking to actually make me this amount of money today. Okay, so coming into the day, I did have a bullish bias, okay? So I was bullish. Reasoning for this was because we were simply respecting bullish, disrespecting bearish on the higher time frame. Very, very easy way to tell my bias, right? You can clearly see when we look at this fat move that we had from yesterday, the move that we had on Monday, we traded lower, we traded into this internal liquidity being what? This fair value gap, and this is just how the market moves. The market moves from ERL to IRL, and from IRL to ERL. What does this mean, right? The market trades from fair value gaps and imbalances, and then liquidity. Then the market trades from fair value gaps and imbalances, and then liquidity. And then after we take out major liquidity, then we go from ERL back to IRL, and then sometimes back to more IRL, and back to ERL, IRL, IRL, ERL. Sorry, that's getting confusing, but that's just how the market moves. This simply just means whenever you hear this term get used, it just simply means that price is trading from fair value gaps to liquidity, and liquidity to fair value gaps, right? So right? That's what we were doing. We were just simply in an uptrend. And we have this buy-side liquidity pool here. I know a lot of people are going to be like, why do you not care that ES took out this high first and there was an SMT, right? Well, I did notice that there was an SMT on this high right here from yesterday. But what did we do with this SMT? We pretty much disregarded it, right? ES is continuing to trade above highs and continuing to displace through this. We are showing no signs of bearish order flow yet, right? I personally didn't take any trades yesterday, and I know a lot of people are DMing me, how did you miss out on the longs? I honestly just missed out on the longs because I was looking to be more bearish, just because we had an hourly change in state of delivery, and I was just honestly looking to be more bearish, so I missed out on these longs. Whatever. Also with that, I know every single time I like post a trade, or I take or it's a no trade day, or it's a trade that I didn't take, or a trade that I did take, a lot of you guys are like, if I took this trade and it was a winner, does this mean that this was a bad trade, that I shouldn't have taken this trade? And that is not necessarily always the case, right? At the end of the day, guys, trading is about having your own conviction in your own setups, in your own model, that you have to be following, right? Only you can build that conviction in your own setups, right? Only you. You are the only person, right? Not me. I can't tell you that, right? I can simply help you filter out, though, sometimes what wins and losses might be good or bad, or trades that you might not or shouldn't take, right? Based on my experience of 4 years in the markets, based on, my years of back testing, based on my years, again, of like live market experience. That's what I can tell you. But at the end of the day, right, you have to build on your own conviction and narrative as a trader to actually see any improvement, right? To actually be confident in your model, and be confident coming into every single day. That's what's just necessary for you to do as an unprofitable trader to become profitable. But with that, of course, always being a student is very important, and I always preach about how you should always be trying to learn and getting 1% better every single day, and that's what you need also to become a profitable trader. Enough yap, though. Let's get back into the charts and back into the analysis, right? We are obviously very bullish on the higher time frame, clearly trending towards this 4-hour high. I think this is just such an obvious draw that we have here. Coming into the day, right, I do think this will get hit by end of day today. And what do we have internal price action-wise, right? Well, I see two areas right here, right? Either I see price going a little bit lower, hitting this 15-minute gap, maybe getting an inversion out of that. I think that would be fine. Reasoning for that is because we did have like a pre-market SMT right here with this 4-hour intermediate low. So there was an SMT here, right? But also a lot of pre-market SMTs don't really hold that much. So I was also expecting this to, if for example, let's say this 15-minute gap gets ran through, what can we then expect? Well, then we have this 4-hour intermediate low right here, right? So then that's where I was looking to see price go to. Now, here we go. Let's just play out price a little bit here. Or sorry, it was actually this fair rally gap. Price was a little bit rangy today. But yeah, it was this fair rally gap I was looking to see hold. And I think the SMT was... Yeah, sorry, the SMT was here actually, so... Bing, bada, boom. Right, but then if this fair rally gap doesn't hold, what can we expect this 4-hour intermediate low? And really, really obvious, right? What are we doing with these highs also, guys? We're not taking out these highs. We're not taking out these highs above us, right, and displacing lower. No, we are leaving and generating liquidity here for New York Open, right? We're generating liquidity for market open. And what are we going to do? What do we want to see happen if we are going to be bullish? And what is my dream scenario here? Well, for price to run lower, take out stops, and then have a long to go higher, right? And then, the less ideal scenario is for price to pump up, and then maybe we can get like a continuation of like maybe a 5-minute gap, retrace, and we can still play off that move. But like ideal A++ scenario, that would get me the best risk to reward, and that I like to see happen at open is just a 930 open low if I'm bullish, right? And we can clearly see that that is what open did. We have 930, we ended up running higher, but what did we do with this run higher? Did we take out these stops? No, we just added to this liquidity pool, right? So even more confirmation that we are going for a bullish bias, right? Now we did end up trending lower, and then we get a really, really clean 1-minute inverse off this 4-hour intermediate low. Honestly, like, I think this is still an A+ setup. We didn't form the unfilled 5-minute gap here yet, which is something that I'm, like, honestly looking for. Let me see, actually. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, sometimes when we are still generating this 5-minute gap with this MEC model, I find that sometimes this can fail, but it really depends, bro. Sometimes we are just really, really bullish, and then we can just, like, run through this. But I do find that sometimes when we're still, like, generating the 5-minute gap here, that these tend to fail a little more, but I don't know. I'm honestly gonna have to like look back in my journaling for that. But this is just definitely a trade that I'm gonna journal just to add more data to that statistic. That being said, as well, another reason why this trade could have potentially failed, and I think it did fail for this reason also, was because we did have a 50-minute gap down here. And this is just something that you got to be doing when you're trading with these higher time frame gaps. I'm always preaching about this. Today I didn't really do it just because, again, I had a lot of conviction for longs today. I wasn't going to miss out on this setup. Let's say this worked, I would have been pretty upset that I missed this. But overall, this was, again, a very, very clean setup. We did trade lower, hitting a 50-minute unfilled gap right here. You just got to be zooming into gaps and models within models. So if we have a 4-hour gap, zoom into the 1 hour. See if there's anything unfilled within the 4-hour range that we can go hit. Sometimes we do have that. Go on the 50-minute time frame. Sometimes we have, an unfilled 50-minute right here, which is exactly what I had, which is,
we get a stop hunt with this too.
But yeah, that being said, still, I do believe this is still an A+ setup. It's still an A+ loss, no doubt about it.
So I got trades to journal even though I didn't take it. So when I was looking at price too, obviously we were accumulated. So I wanted to see manipulation on this leg, right? Manipulation, and we had some relative equal lows. There was that there was that SMT in the higher time frame, but that was pre-market SMT, right? So I'm not really too worried about that. So I was worried about I wanted to see that 5-minute internal low get swept. Price opens up right around here, and we immediately sweep out those lows and go to the 5-minute. Sweep out those lows. What do we see from there? I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, we have an unopened, unmitigated 5-minute fair value gap. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the 1 minute for an entry. But by the time I did that, it was this candle. So we were basically like right under the entry point for that 1 minute inversion, which would have been right here. And then targeting up higher, which is A+. I thought it was beautiful, but you also had that. Holy cow, if I can click. This is terrible. Hit the 1 hour bullish gap. And you have what Blake marked up was that 15-minute gap that we ended up manipulated into. And I missed that, like I said, that 1 minute entry. Otherwise, I would have taken that trade, most likely. Otherwise, I would have probably. I like stop hunts. If I'm taking a mech model, I like stop hunts usually. Like remanipulation and then the entry, because then it's just super clean. You generate some low resistance here. So I was wanting to see a 1 minute inversion then. Resting right here, but then we didn't get it. I'm like, great, there's no 1 minute to inverse. I'm like, I bet you there's a 30-second, and there was. And this ran for a 6 RR. If he took like a 30-second, I think that's what Blake said it was. I don't remember for him. He got out at a 1 to 2, and I think he took his profits at. I mean, what's the 5-minute gap? You take your profits at the 5 minute, 100%. Yeah, like right around here. Which is a 1 to 1. He probably you could have gone up to here, CE of the 5 minute, which is something I think I like to target is CE of 5 minutes, 15 minutes maybe do it around here if it's a 1 to 1, or you could have targeted up higher. But we did have an SMT at open with this to here. We made an SMT, so I didn't like the idea of targeting all the way up there. But I mean it did play, and we went to go and sweep out 1 hour internal highs inside of a 1 hour for value gap, and I was looking for maybe like a continuation. And that would have been off of here, 5-minute continuation, because we tap into this 5 minute. Yeah, I didn't like that. ES had 2 unopened 5 minutes resting right there. I was like, I feel like I want to see. And I think that's right here. 5 minute gets tapped. Maybe it did. Just terrible, though. It was a really rangy day. So I have the trade to journal, which would be the 30-second I'm going to do, and then the 1 minute, and go over that. I'm waiting for Ronin, Bionic NQ, to drop his inverse for value gap of the day, and it's probably this one because this is the only setup. Yesterday I did not take any setups. I'm trying to remember exactly why. I think I journaled one. I think I missed it. I don't recall. But yesterday there was no setups for me to take, so I got nothing this week. Just working on the alpha accounts and mainly just been backtesting, and I've been building a crap ton of data. In terms of studying, this is all I really study right now, and just engraving this in my mind, and then also going over, which I can show y'all, because I haven't shown anybody this in a minute. I have a live trade database, and then I obviously when I'm trading my trade checklist for A+, it used to be just confluences, right? But now as I've gotten, I guess, a little more market experience, this is my checklist. Daily bias confirmed. I go into the day with the daily bias looking at, are we respecting, disrespecting bullish, bearish PD arrays? Are we delivering from buy side or sell side? Where we want to target? So I'm looking for like low resistance liquidity on the higher time frame, mainly like unmitigated fair value gaps or relative equal highs, relative equal lows on the higher time frame. That's where I'm looking to target and align that with the I can't think now. The respecting, disrespecting of bullish, bearish PD arrays to get an idea of where price is wanting to go. From there, I go to my 30-minute. I check out my daily profiles, just understanding like, are we in a accumulate AMD daily profile, or did we get London manipulation? I'm expecting New York to give continuation, and then don't just marry that, but align that with the respecting, disrespecting. Really, that really helps. So trading session time, I only trade 8:30 to 10 for my time. Clean clean liquidity alignment, so clean DOL. Like I said, those relative equal highs, relative equal lows, low resistance liquidity, like unmitigated fair value gaps, and more. I trade 1-to-1 RR or better. My goal is within the next couple of years, I'm going to continue to trade 1-to-1. But as I go on, I'm going to start holding to full DOLs. So I want that full drawn liquidity, whether that's 1-to-2, 1-to-3. I think that's all I really need. And then ideally have like a 60 to 70% win rate with like a 1-to-2, 1-to-3 RR, and that's clean. That's butter. Maybe higher. So then we have bouncing off a higher time frame key level. Do we have a higher time frame narrative backing this play to reach the drawn liquidity? Right? That is big for A plus. And on top of that, I need to have my conditions. 5 to 15 minute conditions, and even using my conditions on the higher time frame, like I said, respecting, disrespecting. Then are we the 5 to 15 minute conditions? Make sure I'm getting, like, obviously there's a lot of times like today my drawn liquidity was correct, but there was no entry for me. And then there's times where my drawn liquidity is correct, and I do get the entry, or I just don't take a trade because of a condition, right? Conditions help you get in on the right time of price. Right, so you're not just going to get stopped out and miss out on the move. It really helps you be precise. Would I take this on the back test? And then have I used my conditions, like I said, those 5 to 15 minute, and am I aligning that with lower time frame structure? Is there low resistance I'm targeting? Do I have high resistance at my stop loss? Not needed, but that's really would improve your win rate, is having a turtle soup, right? Like high resistance at your stop loss. And if I miss a good setup, then journal it in the A plus trade section. So that's what I really look at, and then we can go into what we are doing on the year. Win loss break even gallery, 2 trades recorded. I think I had 2 more and I journaled that. I think I have 4 wins right now, 2 losses, and then I think 1 or 2 losses and like 2 break evens. But just I have to journal more, and I created a brand new journal from what I was doing, which we can get back out of this and go to database, and we can go to like our journal. Yeah. These are some of the trades. What I've noticed is, like Blake was talking about, mech models have, in the 2023 to 2024, had like a really good win rate. And in 2024, 2025, it was more not so good. They struggled. And then this year, it's like, as of right now, mech models have a pretty high win rate. But continuation models is what it's mainly been. So what I've noticed even on my back test is, I mainly started learning from PV Pat and Blake because I liked how simple the mech model was. And then one of the dudes in there, Aether, was telling me like, yeah, but pick the mech and PDI, they're basically the same, 70% the same. And now I've grown to like the PDI model more, and it's allowed me to read price more and be a little more discretional in my own way and have more conviction. And then the continuation model is another thing I really like. It's follow the trend. The trend is your friend, higher win rate usually. And that's what I'm going to show you on this in a second. This was a break-even trade. But the ones I've been really doing is my back tests. And that's like a weekly checker. I love this stuff. We go to my statistics, for example. So my entry time frame, as of right now, 5. The 5 minute is my best entry time frame. That and the 1 minute. And the 3 minute. Have 1 break even that led to a win, and then bunch of wins, 23 wins, 1 break even. I think that's what that is. Just kind of rating them A plus. I like the setup, so I'm just trying to build conviction and see what works best. In terms of PO3, my best with PO3 is, if I can see which one I use the most, the 930, 945. In this I've been like doing 1-to-1s and then also kind of holding a little bit further, which I'm not going to do as much now. Just mainly sticking to 1-to-1s. 830, 845, all that. 9 to 930. Yep. So that's that entry model. So this is where I've been noticing it. As of right now in 2022 price action, I have 15 continuations I've taken. 2 mechs and 8 PDI models. The total PDI model RR is ridiculous, bro. Look at that. And this one, I mean, 25.4800. I might fuck something up on that. Holy shit. Shorts, 18 trades. I'm doing best with that. And in terms of drawing liquidity, this is why I love this software. And it can help me over time see what I target the best. And obviously, I'm not just going to use 2022. My goal throughout this year is get through the year 2022 and 2023. And ideally 2024 as well if I could. That's a lot, but if I could do that, I can go through good price action and bad and see where I'd like to target. Like, so in terms of like what's really my A+, I love, as you can see, a lot of them are 1-to-1s. External range liquidity and unmitigated imbalances, right? And then high resistance, I've only taken like one trade targeting really high resistance and it played out. Or relative equal lows, relative equal highs, I love to take, right? Those are big as well. And then it tells me like my best days are Fridays. Best month, so 5 trades in January, 4 in February, 8 in March, 3 in April, 4 in May. And just building it up. And then total win rate right now is 100% out of all those trades. And we can even go and look at those trades now. We can go into a journal and we can go into the win-loss break-even gallery. Go over all these trades. I have all these things backed up. Like this one. Wow. Insane. As we know, relative equal lows we were targeting. We had low resistance resting here. We get a stop hunt, high resistance stop loss. Nice inversion on the 30-second. This was a 30-second. And it just continued to rip lower. I wonder if I said what was the total RR on this. Yeah, stop loss 11 points, take profit 100. ARR that was on here, I think it ran even more. I don't even think I put how much it ran for, but that thing ripped. Like, it's probably a 15. I think it was 15 RR. But yeah, we were rejecting off a higher time frame key level up there. I mean, if we just go, it's literally this simple. Go from the daily, like where were we on the 4 hour, right? Well, we have just swept out highs. We had a 4 hour gap resting right here. We had a 4 hour low resting right here. Unopened gap resting here. A lot of unopened draws there. And we can just go through. So nice continuation coming in today. We were pushing higher on higher time frame, but also respecting bearish PD arrays. So, and disrespecting bullish. So we're ripping higher. We got a 30-minute inverse for value gap after market open. I thought we would sweep that sell side liquidity on the higher time frame, but we left relative equal lows and pushed higher after the 30-minute inversion. We pushed all the way into the 15-minute fair value gap and 5-minute gap and clearly respected both. These are my conditions. We had high resistance liquidity at our stop loss with the 15-minute being good manipulation. We were targeting low resistance liquidity on the low time frame on the 1 minute and relative equal lows on the higher time frame. On the higher time frame, 30-minute. So there was relative equal lows on the 30-minute with a beautiful short that I actually held through because I was so confident in this draw, and it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. We had another trade. This one ran, it was a 1-to-1. That's what I held it for, but ridiculous. 30-second. 30-second. Was it a 30-second? These don't look like the, oh, no, it's because I let that thing play out then. It was a 5-minute inversion. Or is that the wrong picture, bro? Did I put like the wrong picture in here? Oh no, it did run. It ran for a total of an ARR. And then a lot of these are just a lot of 1-to-1s. I mean, it's just beautiful. It truly is beautiful. It's magic to my ears. So I'm attending mass tonight, and I gotta go at 4:30. So I'm just going to, before then, I'm gonna end this video, get this uploaded. I'm gonna do my own journaling of Blake's review on this trade, and then my own and my thought process going into the trade today. So I've got to review that in the A+ trade territory. I'm going to do both of those trades in A+ because I think the second one is even more A+. Even though it was a 30-second, it'd be better if it was a 1 minute because then I could have taken it too. And 1 minute I think just holds more power than a 30-second. Obviously, it's a higher time frame, even if it's only by 30 seconds. But it had high resistance stop loss, and we then generated, like I said, we generated low resistance resting here, and an unopened 5-minute gap, a mitigated 5-minute gap, not unopened. It's just beautiful, bro. It's so clean, so fucking clean. I'm gonna get rid of this. So I'm just waiting for Ronan to make his video. I'm gonna do my own journaling. I'm gonna do my journaling later tonight, but before I go to mass, I'm about to just take a shower, get refreshed, and then I'm just going to do back testing before then. But yeah, this is what the back test is looking like. Banger. I mean, we've been banging. We've been cooking. And obviously, it's easy price action, and I expect this to, dude, I mean, 24 trades without a loss. I'm expecting to lose here. Just because it's going to rebalance its statistic, but it's just building this over time. And no matter what, even if I do make a couple mess ups, it's like, if it's over a 50, if I'm trading 1-to-1 and it's over a 50% win rate, then it's profitable. And I mean, if we get up to 100, 200, obviously, if we do like all the way to 2024 price action, we're going to get close to probably 200, 300 trades or more. Like, got to be close to. And if you get that, I mean, that's real data. That's a real sample size. And then, like I said, throughout this whole notion, I could have literally 300 trades of data to go over to be like, okay, like, what am I best at doing? What's my highest win rate when I'm targeting? Like, what DOL am I targeting, and what's the win rate it gives me? Oh, when I'm targeting relative equal highs and an unmitigated fair value gap, right, on the higher time frame, oh, I have an 80% win rate when I target that. That's A+ as fuck. So when I see that a lot, if I get a good execution, take it. That builds conviction. This is what is going to build conviction. This is why backtesting isn't as important. It's important to like get your model down, but forward testing is where it's at. Go back to past price action, get Forex replay, get Tradeful, go back to previous price action from 2021, do all the way to 2025, right? Even if it takes you a couple years, just build that. That's experience. Otherwise, your experience is just going to be in the live market every single day, and that takes a lot of time to build. When you could just do that, like I said, I've gotten months done now, up to 20 trades done. And even if I go back on the last back test, I ended it with, I think 50 trades and a 62% win rate. And with these last 24, I mean, it's been cooking. It's around a 70% win rate, I'm assuming. But you need to build data. You cannot skip that. That's what's going to allow you to build conviction in your setups. And that's what Blake was talking about at the end of the day. It's like it comes down to what's your A+. My A+ is going to be different to a lot of other people's A+. There's going to be people who take trades that I don't take, that I think are garbage, and they love. Doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. It comes down to my own understanding of the charts, my own experience. You cannot teach experience, market experience. That just comes down to you. So once you get to the point of watching enough videos from mentors, right, and pick one mentor, but watching and you pick a model, a strategy that you like, that makes sense to you, and like you truly understand, and then master it. Spam their videos, grind the notes, get experience. Like, just look, if let's say you use like liquidity sweeps, okay, then, and you don't know what a liquidity sweep is, but you watch a video on it, then go to the chart, do homework, and find like 50. Now, you don't need 50, but find like 20 liquidity sweeps. That's building experience. That's what I did. I got a memory on my Snapchat from me, my buddy, like sending me a Snapchat and drawing fair value gaps and explaining them to me. And it's the funniest thing because it's just so simple now. And that's stuff that used to feel impossible. It used to feel impossible to understand. And I literally, like, I remember, I think it's 3 years ago now when I first got into trading, I quit within like 2 weeks because I'm like, I just don't understand this. I didn't have discipline. And I built discipline over time, and I actually stuck to it. And now it's to the point where I'm like trading on my own, and I actually have confidence in myself. Even if it's forward testing or back testing, whatever, it's like to be able to take 24 wins in a row. Even if it's easy price action, it's like where I've come from, right? The journey is what matters. What was I going to say? I'm brain farting. But yeah, when it comes to market experience, it's like watch all those videos, get that down, and from there on, you don't need to watch videos anymore. Make sure you have good micro habits outside of the charts. I'm becoming a data-oriented person. So in my weekly, if I go back to my NQ backtest, if I go to my weekly tracker, I have a weekly tracker to do. I have to-do lists to do every single day, which need to get done. And it's important to become data oriented because you need discipline on the charts, so you need to be disciplined outside of the charts as well. It's a direct correlation. On top of that, this stuff takes time. So once you watch those videos, get on the charts, download Tradefold, download Forex Replay, whatever one you want to use, and build experience. And then also get live market experience, paper trade, so you don't lose money right away. And then if you do really good paper trading over like 30 trades, maybe, okay, shit. I have my back tests are going well. I'm doing good on paper trading and the live market. All right, I'm going to get a funded account and then start from there. Be disciplined, follow your rules, and then build experience. Maybe it takes you longer to figure it out. Maybe it takes you a very short amount of time to figure it out. Everyone's different. But you need this. It's like the one thing with trading compared to every other business model is just because you put your head down and work your ass off doesn't mean you're going to be good at trading. And that's the hardest thing I realized. And I realized that any other business model, if I just put my head down, I can get it done now. From what I've been able to do with trading. But then when it comes to trading, it's like you have to be present in the moment. That's something I've been really big on in my prayers, even coming into the market, that I'm not praying that I don't take a loss. I'm not praying to take a win. I'm praying that I'm present in the moment and I'm understanding what the market is doing and I can get a learning experience. Like today, I could have entered in, like, got pissed off and entered in a trade here from like a 5-minute continuation because I missed out on a setup here with a 30-second. But I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to chase profits. I'm trying to build experience, and this doesn't look like a high-quality setup here. I'm going to fade this. I mean, shit. We just, I think, had an SMT get put in as well up here. And then you fucking are reacting to a higher time frame key level up here as well. And you get a 5. And risk reward was terrible too. So it's like, just fade it. But I'm coming into the day trying to just learn, focusing on the process rather than the end goal, because we have to reverse engineer. How are we going to get to the end goal? When LeBron grew up thinking like, oh, I want to be a millionaire and I want to be like, do you think he just like dreamt of just like doing? No, he put, I don't know where I'm going with this. He put the work in. How do these people get to the point where they are is they focus on the fundamentals, the dribbling, getting good at dribbling, shooting. They go from right under the basket with one arm and they go out further and further the more consistent they get. And that's how you build the jump shot over and over with repetition. That's how you get better at dribbling. That's how you get better at passing. How do you get better at defense, right? It all takes repetition, and that's the same with training. That's why TGR always uses basketball references too, because it's a really good analogy. But yeah, that's really it. I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna go take a shower, and then I have an hour and a half to backtest, and I'm gonna be locked the fuck in. But I mean, take my advice. I'm being so serious. If anybody watches this video like this, that is like how you get good at trading. That is how you become profitable. I just gave you the system. Find one mentor, learn about the psychology, get your shit in check, get a routine going. It is extremely important. Make sure you are in control of yourself, being stoic, right? Whether you're religious or not, do not let your feelings control you. Overeating, being lustful, right? Just spending, like, having the urge to spend. Maybe you stay up all night late and then you're like just looking online and like, oh, I could get, just being a dumbass, right? Be in control of your emotions. Be in control of yourself. Have some self-control. Have some authority in your life. And then watch these videos, whatever mentor you pick, grind their videos, grind the notes, master it. Then get Tradefold, get Forex Replay. Yes, you'll have to pay monthly for that shit. Oh well. It's a price you have to pay. What's $30 a month compared to fucking thousands of dollars you could be paying yourself out? Infinite money you could pay yourself out with trading. Do that. Build the experience. Track all your data. Journaling. You do not skip it. If any day you waste with not journaling is a wasted day, even if you took a win or a loss, you are wasting your time. Why even trade? Journal. Build experience. Build data. And then once you are profitable, on paper, get a funded account. And if you're doing bad on the funded account, well, I tell you what, that's your psychology. It most likely is. And give it a few tries, because obviously it's a probability thing. You can get a funded account and you have a 70% win rate. Doesn't mean you're going to win the first 7 trades and only lose, and maybe lose the next 3, or lose 3 and then win the next 7. It's a random probability. That's what I think. That's what I've come to believe. But that's my thought process on it. That's my perception on this. And that's helped me in my trading. And I think that could help you as well. Understand that it's completely random. You are gambling, but you are making an educated guess off of probabilities. And it's just following that. And how, like I said, how do you know? How do you build that trust in your system? Is by building data. Okay, over the last 300 trades I've taken, don't do like a 20 trade sample size. It's good, but imagine 100, 200, 300. Okay, over the last 300 trades, I have a 70% win rate, 30%, 70% win rate. So out of all those trades, I'm going to have a 30% losing rate. My brain's fried. That builds trust in my system. So when I take losses, I just remember, hey, I went through my checklist. This was A plus. So I like to tell myself when I get in on trades, like, dude, I love this setup. This is so A plus. And then when it fails, I don't sit there and be like, what? Dude, F setups win, A plus setups fucking lose. It's going to happen. It's just, hey, I like this setup and I'll take it over and over and over again. And over time, it will play out in my favor. But yeah, that's the video for today. Make sure you get locked in, get some fucking work done. I'm going to be more consistent, like I said, when I do take trades. Just after I do my journal, I'm thinking more about just doing my journal. Wednesdays and Thursdays suck because once I take trades, I just journal it and then I go to work. And same with Fridays. But Mondays and Tuesdays, I can be pretty consistent with it. But yeah, that's going to be it. Peace.